me permission to break down this clip, guys, be sure to subscribe to Fresh and Fit and the Fresh and Fit Clips channel. Okay, let's get started here.
Well, anytime whether you have a high body count, you were
OnlyFans,
and OnlyFans, you did anything that has a negative connotation, right? That involves sex work. Hell, some guys might even like a girl that worked in the bottle, as a bottle girl or whatever.
Straight up.
What happens is that what's going to happen is that when you reveal that to certain men, it's going to disqualify you from any type of real relationship.
Real talk.
So to give yourself the best chance, right? You don't want to disclose that type of information because the men that you typically want, the tall, attractive guy that has money, has options. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. The biggest disqualifier for a man is a woman with a past.
Real talk.
They're not going to want that.
But being a dancer, how does that make you like have a past?
Because it has a negative. Here's the thing.
And, like, the
I'm very well aware that there's women that are strippers that have less body counts than women that are doctors. I'm very well aware of that. Okay. That a career doesn't necessarily mean that you're a hoe. However, you're wearing a hoe's uniform.
Myron's 100% correct here. It doesn't matter if you're a stripper and didn't turn tricks on the side. Doesn't matter if you didn't smash dudes in the champagne room for extra cash. None of that matters. What matters is that you're in that environment to begin with. This example goes directly to what Myron often talks about on the pod, and that is possibility versus probability. Women love to interchange them at their convenience to fit their narrative or to win an argument. The girl who just asked the question, well, how does being a dancer make you have a past? She's now using possibility for her argument. Is it possible that a stripper isn't a 304? Sure. Is it possible that a stripper doesn't have a past that involves a bag of sausages? Absolutely. But is it probable? Hell no. Women love to use the outlier situation as a one-off qualifier, and it doesn't work that way. This is exactly why most modern women are miserable. They live their lives based on possibilities rather than probabilities. But then when they run up on a dude who lives life based on probabilities the way you should, that's when they run into issues. Sex workers are almost never taken seriously as long-term relationship material by men who have options. Well, I know a former stripper or OnlyFans girl or spicy movie star or an escort who got married to a high-value man. Even if that were true, and let's face it, there's a better than 99.9% probability that it's not, but even if it were true, that is the gross statistical outlier. Because the vast majority of sex workers or former sex workers end up single, as single mothers, or married to a man who is clearly not their first choice.
They're going to assume the worst.
Right.
So even though you might have a lower body count than a woman that has, a Yale degree, bachelor's degree or master's degree at Yale,
Blondie looks good.
It's not out there for them to see. Men are very visual.
She needs longer hair.
Seeing is believing for guys. This is why a girl like Mia Khalifa, Lana Rhodes, whatever, they're doomed because their videos are on the internet of them getting plowed by a gang of dudes. So even though they might have a lower body count in general, the negative connotation of the industry and then guys being able to see that or knowing it through other peers or whatever is it's always going to come back to haunt you as a woman.
Sorry.
Yeah, the perception around that and then the environment, they're going to think, oh, you know what? She's a stripper? I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
She might have smashed
Then why do
dudes.
y'all come to strip clubs?
Because we're men, Chunky Monkey. We're visual. You see, that question wasn't really a question, right? Like, everybody knows why men go to strip clubs. But a woman asking this question in bad faith is essentially blaming men for the sex trade industry. Well, if men didn't go to strip clubs or watch spicy movies, then there wouldn't be an industry. Now, whether that's true or not is immaterial because no one forces these women into these occupations. And miss me with the human trafficking topic. Yes, this happens and it's terrible, but I'm not talking about people who are forced into this industry. I'm talking about women who willingly choose to use their bodies to make a living off of the dollars from a predominantly male clientele. If I got pulled over with 2 keys of dope in my trunk and I told the officer, well, if not for the people who are addicted to this stuff, I wouldn't have to do this, he is still going to arrest me because I am breaking the law. It's not the market's fault that I willfully and wantonly decided to get involved with drug trafficking. It's my fault and mine alone. Well, this is exactly the same as strippers, escorts, OnlyFans girls, spicy movie stars, and so forth. These girls willfully and wantonly decide to get into the sex industry, which is perfectly fine. It is their God-given right to do whatever it is they want or need to do for a living. But like any other profession, there are costs. And when you are a sex worker, it severely diminishes your attractiveness in terms of long-term commitment from men of value. Don't blame it on the industry, ladies. Nobody put a gun to your head to get naked on camera.
Well, to smash.
You can't go to a strip club and smash a bitch.
Nah,
Depending on what club you
because
guys.
men are visual. Like a lot of the times when guys go to strip clubs, men a lot of time go to strip clubs to pay for femininity. You know, a lot of modern day women are masculine as
Yep.
So,
good point.
you know, they don't dress up for their guys. They don't take care of themselves. They don't look good. So guys will go to a strip club almost a lot of the times to escape. It's one of the few times for a lot of guys. Remember, ladies, most guys struggle with women. You know, there's a whole reason why they have the OnlyFans, strip clubs, etc. are a thing in the first place is because men have this infatuation with beautiful women and it's very difficult to come across them and attract them. So they go to the strip club to escape reality a lot of times. It's the first time they're able to sit around an attractive woman, have an attractive woman talk to them, get attention from an attractive woman, naturally feminine, etc. Because when strippers talk to you, it's a game. Oh, how you doing, baby? Blah, blah, blah. They're naturally submissive and feminine all of a sudden. Guys yearn for that. It's very difficult to find, especially in today's day and age with feminism and all these women walking around saying, I'll make you an omelet if I'm on my way to making an omelet. You know what I mean? No offense to you, picking on you a bit.
With no seasoning.
But this is how a lot of women, but this is how a lot of women think. A lot of women think, oh, 50-50 partnership, it's equal, I'm equal to you. I don't necessarily have to act like a lady because I'm doing what you're doing too, mother. So a lot of guys go there to get that escape. A lot of for strip clubs. And obviously the sex too, but that's a part of it, is what I'm trying to say.
Because I told the whole Fresh and Fit like 20 times I'm a stripper, so I'm doomed.
It's okay. There's people that don't watch us.
Yeah. Don't worry. There's a simp out there for you.
That's very clever of her. Very clever of her. Did you guys see what just happened? Did you guys see what just happened? This woman is proud to be a stripper. She made that last remark about how she told everybody on Fresh and Fit 20 times that she's a stripper with a smile on her face and a twinkle in her eye. And the reason she is proud to be a stripper is because she's overweight. The fact that she takes her clothes off for money and that men actually give her money to see her naked gives her a sense of pride and sexual validation. I'm sexually attractive. Men throw money at me for me to take off my clothes. Guys, I've dated a lot of strippers in my day, and I can't remember any of them telling me or even acting like they're actually proud to be a stripper. The reason they're not proud to be a stripper is because they know it's easy money. You're young, attractive women who take off their clothes. There's no effort involved. Just show up, act feminine, shake your ass, show a little cooch, maybe your tatas, and you've got a 3 or 4 figure payday at the end of the night. This girl is not ashamed to be a stripper because she is overweight, and that's all there is to it. Unfortunately for her, she was already and it has nothing to do with the fact that she's an exotic dancer. The reason she will have trouble finding and locking down a man of value is because she is overweight. And that is why she is proud to be a stripper. This is why plus-size women don't mind being called 304s, because it validates their sexual attractiveness. Men want to smash. Yes, call me a 304. Of course they want to be called a 304 because that puts them on par, as far as they're concerned, with fit, attractive women.
The same out there for you. Don't worry, I promise. Justin, what's your take on this? Girls in their past, as far as
I would never take a stripper seriously. I'm not saying I wouldn't sleep with her, but
real talk.
It's like a girl with a high body count. Like, you need to conceal that if you really, really like the guy.
Yeah.
Any guy that's going to take you seriously is not going to allow that. And even he could actually like you and still wouldn't do it because it's always going to be in the back of his mind.
Yeah.
And that's just, it might be unfair. It might not be right. I just think it's part of being a male.
Matter.
I think it has something to do with the primal part of wanting to know what you're worth.
Yeah. I'll give all the ladies, I guess, a comparison. Would a guy that's 5'2", you probably wouldn't want to date him, more than likely, right? A guy that's really short or shorter than you. That's exactly how men feel about women that have high body counts.
Right. Or did some kind of promiscuous level of work in the past where there was a large amount of exposure to other men in a sexual regard.
So would it be fair for women to not want to with men who done stupid in the past, that like criminal and like stuff like that? You know what I'm saying?
That turns women on. So
no, it doesn't. It doesn't turn me on at all.
Oh, good God. Now there she goes. This is the kind of woman who always looks for the male equivalent of disqualification. She does not like the fact that sex workers like herself are automatically disqualified for long-term relationships with men of value. So she asks, well, what if a guy has a criminal record? Myron responds correctly, and then, of course, she, like every other woman who simply cannot concede and has to be right all the time, says, well, it doesn't turn me on. Again, even if that were true, and it's not, but for the sake of argument, even if it were true, she's the exception. Speaking from personal experience, I have never, ever, ever, ever lost a girl because of my criminal record. Ever. If a woman ever found out about my felonies and arrest record, either directly or indirectly, they never leave. They always stick around. A lot of them are actually fascinated by it. Girls used to ask me, so what's it like being arrested? Or what's it like in jail? And keep in mind, we are talking about modern women, which means that yesteryear's red flags are this year's green flags. Should it be this way? Absolutely not. But it is. Feminism has so completely warped and destroyed the female mind so thoroughly that a man with multiple violent convictions actually becomes more attractive when they find out about it. So no, Chunky Monkey, outside of crimes against children, a criminal record is never a deal breaker with women, especially attractive women. I speak from personal experience, so she can miss me with all that snowflaking. She's a basic bitch just like all the other women on the panel.
There's a big difference between fair and reality.
There you go.
Big difference.
Yep.
Right.
So, you know, what's fair and what's reality are two different things.
But reality is like a woman who could actually be a better wife than a doctor could have been a stripper. Like,
So?
And you guys just disqualify her because of her.
Well, Bunny, you're looking at different multiple variables right now that don't necessarily make sense, and I'll explain what I mean by this. You said earlier, a guy's a criminal or he has a past, would he get disqualified? My argument is no, because a lot of the times guys that are criminals or guys that have that past are attractive to women, so they don't get sexually disqualified. Does that make sense? They're still going to be able to get the box because they're inherently attractive because they have that bad boy image. There's a reason why they say nice guys finish last. However, right? Here's the thing. If I'm going to break this down very nice and simply.
Tell him, Myron.
Women look at a man's future. Men look at a woman's past. So women typically want to align themselves with a guy that has a future to some degree. Okay? So even if a guy's a bad boy, he has attractive traits that might, show a reminiscence of a future. But with men, it's like if a girl's a hoe, she's going to be disqualified for a relationship. Okay? Now, does that mean that, you're not going to still get a guy to want to you and date you? No, you can still get it. But for a guy to take you seriously and want to date you and like give you a title, he's going to have a issue with you having a past.
And this is why I always advise women to lie your ass off about your body count. Don't tell him. Keep that to yourself. Because while you may think a strong, confident man who is about his business is man enough to handle your past, it is never, and I mean ever, a good idea to be honest about your sexual history with a man you actually like. High status men with options do not take women with high body counts seriously. Now, some of you may say, well, Donovan, most women in this part of the world have high body counts, and you'd be 251% correct. So ladies, if you're listening, get out a pen and pad and take some notes. If you are going to lie about your body count, your actions have to match what you say. If you tell a guy your body count is 5, but you're on Instagram showing your body, you're not responding to his text messages in a timely manner, if you have friends who are 304s, if you dress a certain way, if you act a certain way and so forth, he is going to know that you're lying. It's one thing to tell a man you have a low body count. It is quite another to emulate the characteristics, behaviors, and habits of a woman who actually has a low body count. A woman who's been smashed by 75 guys is going to have a much more difficult time acting like her body count is 5 than a woman who has only smashed 15 guys. So ladies, before you start lying about your body counts, which you should absolutely do if you really like the guy, you need to make sure that your actions, your habits, your characteristics, even your body language matches what you say. Because men with options are also men with experience. And if you tell a guy you like that you've only smashed 5 guys, but you act like the other women in his rotation who have all been smashed by a hell of a lot more, he's going to know you are being dishonest. He's not going to tell you, but he will act accordingly and you will never know. So make sure that when you lie about your body count, your actions match what you say. That's all I got for you sons of bitches this time around. Smash the like button for your boy. And if you like this content, a sub would be greatly appreciated. If you really liked the video, Drop me a super thanks and I'll be sure to shout you out on the next go round. Till next time, guys.